Oh, okay. Okay. Hi guys. Hi everybody. Hope you're all well. Um, we're going to get Jess on in a few minutes. Obviously, he's that was part of the reason we were delayed. Is obviously Jess had an accident, and so we'll hopefully we'll get him on in a few minutes, and you can all have a look at the damage. But on top of that, um, we're obviously today launching Lightwave 25. It should be in your accounts now. So if any of you haven't already looked, it should actually be there. I want to do a little bit of a catch up really, because obviously this is our second or the end of the second year, or coming close up to the end of our second year. And I wanted to kind of cover a little bit about what we've done so far, and then what is obviously going to be in 25. So got my glasses on because I'm old, can't see. So just a quick catch up on this. So this from 23, 24, I'm not going to cover every function, but just kind of want to give you a quick rundown. So we did frames. That was the ability in nodes to sort of group and put notes and those things. We did rigid, turbulence, flow, weight brush, the tendril node group, point edge slide, OpenVDB. We added a major update to that. Unified surfacing tools from Sean, Octane, obviously included for free, instance painting, text tool, Unreal Bridge, Lightwave Pro Tools, which was formerly the OD tools, I think over 60 other features and over 100 bugs fixed on that first couple of builds. So that's pretty remarkable in that amount of time just to get that done. But what we're doing today is really obviously 25. So let me just quickly cover what we've got in 25. So in Lightwave 2025, we've got Ripper, which is the real-time preview system. We've updated that considerably probably since you last saw it. We've got Step It, Pick It and Hand It, which are the automated rigging, animation tool and so on. We've got Construct, which I've just seen a week or so ago, I think, almost a copy of it directly in Blender, but that is great. We've obviously got that. Super Patcher, Super Normals. We've got the new Toon shading system, which is amazing, and that's only the start of what we're going to be doing with that, but it is fantastic what we've got there. It's got the ability to do objects behind transparency, but in a toon style, in an anime style. It's fantastic and really works very, very well and is very fast. And actually, if you saw our launch video, that had a bit of toon at the front end of it, and then it changed to show some OpenVDB and some other things that we've been updating. So obviously that's toon. We've got the displacement brush. We've got Python 2 and 3, which is switchable. So literally you can just switch between, when you load up Lightwave, choose which one you want to work with, Python 3 and Python 2. Would recommend Python 2 for compatibility with all the plugins in the short term, but as gradually time goes on, we'll obviously get that more and more of those plugins working with Python 3. There's also the reconstruction filter. That in itself is a huge thing. So actually, just to cover that, if you remember, we mentioned about doing an anti-aliasing upgrade, and we looked at that very heavily to see what was causing the problems with the anti-aliasing. Turned out it wasn't the anti-aliasing. Turned out it was the reconstruction filter. So we had a major overhaul of the render engine, of which one of the things that came about from that was a complete rebuilding of the reconstruction filter. And it means you have to use, or can use, considerably less anti-aliasing to get the same effects. Subsequently, it's substantially faster. So I would recommend having a look at that as well. On the internal render engine, the reconstruction filter is a major update to the rendering capability of Lightwave, and it fixes a lot of the render issues that were there for years, basically. So that's in there. We've also got some Pro Geo nodes, new Pro Geo nodes added. The donut is one of those. Don't know why I mentioned that, but anyway, we've also added static presets. So we've got Pro Geo presets. We've got those as scenes. A lot of those created by Mark Warner, who I cannot thank enough, did an amazing job putting those together. But they're really good. They're annotated. so you can get sort of a description of how to control it and what to do with it. I can't recommend enough having a play with those. If you haven't used ProGeo, because it's complicated and difficult, I would recommend looking at those ProGeo preset scenes. They're fantastic. 14 of them, I think there are, and they are really, really good. On top of that, we've also made in ProGeo things that can't be attached to things now won't attach to things, which again should help people when they're learning ProGeo. A lot of the times we had people saying there was bugs, or this doesn't work. It was because they were plugging things into the wrong place, and of course it therefore would cause a crash or it wouldn't work or whatever. So we've eliminated that by only allowing you to plug things into where it can be plugged into. So hopefully we may have missed something, but I think we've largely covered that and done a really good job of that. We've also added in a substantial amount of new surface presets. So nearly 100 new presets have been added. I'll show some of those a little later on. We've also added in some OpenVDB presets as well. I think those scenes are not available for a few days, but will be available shortly. The ProGeo presets are an additional download when you go to your Lightwave, where you download Lightwave and your license key, etc. You'll see in there's a ProGeo preset scene directory. Just download those. That works great. We've also added in a frame rate view in the main window, so you can actually see what the frame rate is. I can't tell you how many times I've done scenes and then by accident rendered them out at the wrong frame rate. So the default is 30. Obviously in the UK it's 25, and if you're working on film it's 24. So subsequently it now tells you what that is, so you can clearly see what that is on the main screen, which is good. Minor thing, but it's I think a fairly important thing. We've also added in the DP kit, DP filter, all of those tools. They have also had their libraries updated and all of them checked through and had a once over in terms of updating them where we can and where possible. We've also added in the RenderMan surfaces, again from DuPont, and then the Verdure as well. On top of that, there's also 260 bug fixes we've done.
Yeah, but to be fair, 180 of those we caused and then we fixed. So.
That is actually true. With something complex like this, when you're doing so many bug fixes and you're deleting old code that shouldn't be there, and we're tidying things up, and we're still doing that today, 2 years in. Actually, we did a massive amount of that on the render core and on the render engine this year. Every time you do those things, you have a consequence, and regularly we were creating our own bugs. But nonetheless, 260 were fixed. As Stu said, most of them we created ourselves. So again, just a very, very quick rundown. That's Ripper, Step It, Pick It, Hand It, Construct, Super Patcher, Super Normals, Toon, Displacement Brush, Python 2 and 3, Reconstruction Filter Update, new ProGeo tools, presets for ProGeo, surfaces, VDB, frame rate view, DP kit, DP filter, RenderMan surfaces, Verdure, 260 or 50 bugs fixed as well, all basically in the update for 2025, which I think is pretty good. On top of that, I want to just on the PC pricing or on the release. So we've released the PC one today. With the Mac one, we're thinking it's a few days late. Simply, we've got a last few bugs. One of our guys is on holiday. He's fixing a few things those this weekend. We'll hopefully get it out very early next week, but it isn't going to be a week away or 2 weeks away. It is very, very close. So the Mac one's going to be a few days late, but the PC one's out now. On top of that, pre-order pricing, which is unusual for us. We normally stop that before we do the release. We're running the pre-order pricing and the bundle deals until Monday morning. So if any of you want to get that last minute deal in, now is the time to do it. And it is a huge update. I cannot tell you how much we've done under the hood, bug fixing, tightening things up, speeding things up, the render engine in particular, much, much faster. There's been a few updates on the Octane, not as much as we would have liked to have had time to do, but we'll do more over the next month or two, I would think. But basically, it is a massive update. So I kind of I suppose it's probably a good idea if I start just showing you a few bits and bobs. We had a few questions. Largely today's session, we're going to be taking questions from you guys and trying to answer those. We've shown most things in the previous demos we've done, but I'll just show you a few updates today of where things have ended up being. So I'm gonna start off by doing just a little bit on Picket and on Ripper. Yes, Bud.
Before you get going, a couple of people are commenting that your audio seems to be a bit choppy. Mine seems fine at my end. Can you just quickly check, make sure you're on the right microphone on your settings?
Yep, I'm definitely on my main microphone.
I know that we're going to be recording our screens locally. Maybe your screen recorder is doubling up or something?
Yeah.
Yes, not on yet. So I'll try. I'm really sorry if any of you can't hear me properly. It is actually should be working fine here. Let me try. Is that any better? Let me know now.
I'm just
is that better?
I can hear beeps from someone on your end.
That's actually first. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse.
Well, you know, I'm afraid that's what it is. So it is in theory picking up from my the little Logitech thing, but anyway, that's unusual. Okay, can you hear me enough? I can continue, or what do we do? Any thoughts?
No, we can hear. I can keep going, Andy. It's like I said, on my end, it's fine. I think some people are having issues, so just keep going as you are.
You're going to hear a little beep from time to time. Basically, when I turn on the screen, actually interesting, that doesn't want to record with Teams playing. Oh dear. So I don't know if that's going to... Juice, you might need to... Oh no, it's actually just saying it's going to record. So yeah, cool. Okay, hopefully that's recording so that when we put it into the edit, you'll be able to hear it and see it better. But anyway, okay. So let me share my screen. Let's get rid of that and that. Okay, so obviously Lightwave. So a couple of things. This was obviously the scene we did to show or the launch of Lightwave a little while ago. I actually closed it by mistake, so my apologies. Right, okay. So the things I just wanted to show which are just basic updates. Obviously, we've got Step It. You've seen that. That's the finished interface for Step It. Sorry, Juice.
Are you sharing? Are you sharing?
I am sharing, Bud.
Oh, you're not sharing, Andy.
Yeah.
I think basically it might be the screen recorders causing a problem.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Either that or you're a complete amateur, Andy.
Probably that too. Let me try sharing again.
Yeah. There you go. Now it's coming through.
You can see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, and then I've lost Lightwave. That was really clever of me. Okay. Right, we'll start again. Okay, so basically, obviously you've seen Step It. That's the finished interface for Step It. I'm not going to be showing that off today, but you've all seen it do the auto walking and the characterization capabilities with it and so on. But one of the questions that we kept on getting from users was, can you basically switch between two characters when you're animating? I just wanted to show that working with Picket. So with Picket here, we've got our two characters on screen, the avatar and the sugar cube, and we're on the cube at the moment. So if I click on the shoulder and actually just change that to rotate, you can see I can animate that shoulder, and obviously I can change shoulder and it will just go to the other shoulder. There's the other arm. There we go. Lift it up. And if I want to change characters, all you do is go to the choose the avatar, and then basically that will then take priority. So now that arm is moving. So yes, is the answer. It can work with multiple characters, 3 or 4 characters, 2 or 3 characters easily. So I think we've only tested it with 3, but it basically should handle many more as long as your machine can handle it. So that was the first thing I wanted to show. The next thing was, obviously with Ripper, this is a much bigger scene than we would normally show. This is going to take a few seconds to update. I'm just going to quickly do that, and then I'll go into a proper Ripper demo after that. So I'm just going to admit that person. Okay, so let's just move this out of the way. Right, so there's our Ripper view. Actually, I don't know why that's lost its color, but anyway.
VPR. You're on VPR.
God, yep, sorry. There we go. That's better. That's good. Right, so there's our Ripper scene. I'm just going to change the environment. There we go. And again, actually, just so you can see, it handles the big scene fine. You can rub through that. It does sort of, the eyes go a little bit doolally, but you can still rub through it. And also, again, that will actually work with Picket and all the usual things. So you can even animate using the Ripper view. I'm going to show Ripper off in with a different scene in a second, because I just want to show you a bit more on the interface. So let me just turn that off. Let's go back to that. Okay, shrink that down. Let me clear the scene. Okay. So, whoops, that's in my way. Okay, so let's do. Let's go and do that scene. Okay, so I just wanted to show the updated Ripper interface and then show you some renders from it that I created just before we came on air. So, whoops, let's turn Ripper on, give it a chance to update. Ooh, blimey, that shouldn't have happened.
I know why.
Why is that, Bud?
Clear scene now with Ripper on.
Okay. Do it again.
Now load your scene.
Thanks, Bob.
Now turn on Ripper.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Bob. Brilliant. Just going to change this to the sunflower one. So a couple of things I wanted to show here. One is we've got now the ability to rotate the HDR, so we can change where and how it's lighting the object. Obviously, we can up the intensity for that as well. Actually, I'm going to change the HDR image to let's do that one. Put that back to 0. So basically, again, we can then run that, and you can see that runs fine. So obviously, this renders in relation to the screen here, okay? So if you shrink this down, it's going to render faster because it's basically, this is a 4K screen. So effectively, this is capturing and playing that back or rendering that at 4K. So if I shrink that down and make that a bit smaller, it will actually play that back even faster. And let's just drag that down there. There we go. You can see that's now playing back at full speed. Okay, so let's get it down there. Good. So the other thing we've got here, which is also new, is on the render side. Let's go here. I can also now screen grab. We originally had it just EXRs. We can now grab JPEGs as well. Actually, let me just choose where to put those. Let's put them on the desktop and grab it. So we should get one of those pop up in a second. Where's that? It may have come up already. It might be the screen recorder that's causing us so many problems today, but basically you can grab the PNG, you can grab JPEGs, you can grab EXRs, everything. You also obviously can rotate the HDR, and on the recording settings, let's go to that. Also, this matches what is set up in your properties panel here. So if I change that to 1920, you see it changes to 1920. change it to 3K, that will change to 3K, and so on. So it basically is fully in sync with your camera properties. You can also save a preset using the preset preview as standard, but it's a little bit choppier. The one inside Ripper works substantially faster. I did a couple of renders just to show you an output of this scene. So let me just show you that. So this was a preview I did just before we came on. So that's with no anti-aliasing added in post. That's just straight off the bat running using Ripper's output and then saving that out as a QuickTime movie. And then I did one more where I put noise reduction on, and actually, you know, I couldn't really see any major difference. So, and that normally you would notice a lot of difference. So basically, straight out of the bat for doing your previews and your animatics, this now enables you to really save out very high quality renders. And depending on the complexity of the scene, I mean, most of the time when you're doing animatics, you're not really overloading it, but it should be able to give you really fast throughput, about a second a frame if you're doing 3K and then reducing that down to HD, which kind of acts as a way of anti-aliasing it. All of that it works great, and then saving out still frames for storyboards, those sort of things, again, works great. Right, so that's the Ripper. So let's just, I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. Just want to show you a few other bits and bobs. So let's just clear that scene. Obviously, you've seen me use that extensively in previous demos and so on. So on the, let's do presets. Actually, let's do the Pro Geo scenes. Let's get some of those up. Sorry, this is right in my way. There we go. Right. So let's do some. So these are, if I just load this up. So this is just a pre-made scene by Mark. So you can see there it's doing that. And if we go to our properties, click on the procedural geometry node, you can see it's fully marked up. So you can then see you know, what to do, where to do it, what it's doing, and basically then follow that through to the output. You can even use that as a base scene for doing something you want to do, but it really is he's done an excellent job of annotating this and putting that together. Let me load up a few more of these just so you can see them. Let's go out of the lathe. Let's do a little Boolean one. So this one basically is a loops Boolean again. Get it out of the way. So you can see that's doing a Boolean function, and again fully annotated. You know, to sort of teach you how to actually use it. Let's just clear that scene. I'll do one more. There's 14 of these, so just, you know, go in, have some fun with it. Let's have a look. Oops, sorry, I've loaded another. Doesn't matter. But yeah, this is kind of cool. So you can see that's moving again, fully adjustable, fully alterable. You know, change the shape, play, and again, go to the properties, open up the panel, and it would basically talk you through what you're doing and how to do it. Again, all built in. So it's 14 of those presets are included as standard, which you can just download. I think it's in the download area, as I mentioned earlier on. Okay, so that's that. We've also got, let's load up some of these. We've got, let's have a look. Ooh, not that one. Go. Okay, so we've got OpenVDB now. Loads of presets for that. They're not going to be there today. They're going to be there in about a week's time. So they basically give you the ability to load up clouds, those sort of things. There's explosions, but again, it will give you a good understanding of how it basically works and how fast it works. Actually, I'll just show you a multi-explosion as well. Let's get this up there. Pull up the VPR. You can see you can rub through that. And again, one of the advantages with OpenVDB, it's very fast. If you want to render that, Again, very quick. Let's just do an F9 on it. Okay, you can see, actually that's a bit, I did that a bit too low res. Let's do that a bit higher. Let's do a 1920 by 1080. Take a few seconds longer, but still pretty good. So that's OpenVDB. Again, preset scenes. You'll have all of those available to you as well in a few days' time, and they're built in as well. Okay, so next. Okay, so so actually, well, should I do that? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so basically we've got those. We've done the oh, let's go to surfaces. I'm going to load up, just make a model. So let's do a sphere. Let's do 2.
Taxing your modeling skills there, Andy.
Yeah, I actually surprised myself, Juice, really. So, okay, so if we go to our over to our presets here, let's go to our okay. So we've added in here a stack of new surfaces. Over 100 new surfaces are added in here, including Octane. Just to give you an idea, let's put on the VPR. So I can click on the presets, stacks of them in here, and you'll see we've got more metals. We've got actually the leather ones I think we had before, or some of those we had before. Loads of new procedural ones. There's, I mean, some of the ones from previous are there as well. We've got ceramics, you know, carbon. I mean, there are literally stacks of these added in. And likewise, if we change this to want to go Octane, let me just set up Octane very quickly. Let's turn that off, and we'll just click there. Let me go to enable. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to load in a basic menu for it. So let's go default lighting. That'll be fine. Load up an IPR. Call that, and then we can just call up these surfaces. Again, you can see them straight away. Stacks and stacks of these have been added. So I think it's about 100 new surfaces we've added. So there's loads in there. Obviously, lots of ones done for Octane. We're going to be continuing to work on those also over the next few months. So some of them are good, but they could be improved even further. So we're going to be adding in envelopes so it's easier to scale, and those sort of things we'll be adding in as well. So that's kind of where my bit for it. I think I've shown you a load of stuff there. We're going to get Juice in a few seconds, hopefully, to show. See if I can work out how to call this back up. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm going to stop sharing. So Juice, do you want to take over the screen, my friend?
Hang on, let me turn on my camera here.
Yeah.
We good?
Oh, that's shocking. That is shocking. That is. You know, have you nearly remembered?
I did have. I mean,
is the tongue working? Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Juice wasn't hurt as bad as everybody thought. Just want to say, he's completely fine. So.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I really appreciate it. I mean, there was, as soon as the email came out, I couldn't believe how many people sent me emails, messages, chats. It's really, it made me actually have to come up with a better, a better story than how I actually hurt myself. But, I'm still working on that. It's still, I didn't just do what I really did. Anyway, so hey, let's talk 25. Carlos, we're good. I'm easily 95%. I still feel, still feel a little bit of soreness there, but anyone who's blown a muscle, really hardcore kind of, you know, kind of knows. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So hey, let's do some stuff. Let me first see if my screen recording is going to do anything squirrely like. So I seem to be recording. All right, so let me now share screen.
I think mine was because I just literally only just installed it and hadn't used it before.
Maybe. Okay.
Almost a user error. So.
All right, am I sharing there?
Yeah, perfect, bud.
All right, cool. Yeah, this is just what I want to talk about is I want to talk about toon. I want to talk about toon shader. So I'm just going to throw VPR at this just to show kind of where we are. This is a model that I had, from somewhere else. If anyone recognizes it, send a shout out to the original artist. I forget where I got it from. So I'm just going to do a couple of things here because I'm wanting to do this as a toon. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to lose some of my roughness, lose the high specular. I think we can stay with all of that. I'm just going to quickly switch to my cell shade. And I don't need to use specular color for this. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that we want to not have radiosity taken into account for when we're doing this. So I'm just going to turn off effect diffuse and specular from my environment light. So just like that, looks like I need, just to make sure that everybody's got some smoothing on or something. That'll work. That'll work. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So let's just show how quickly something can be set up. We've got some of the stuff that's currently going as a default, but I'll try not to spend. I could spend hours showing you stuff in this. This is so much fun to play with. I'm going to just add a layer, and now I'm going to add. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up my scene editor and select all of my parts like this, and then say add selected from layout, just like that. Give it a second for my saddled system, and there we go. So immediately we've got essentially what we've got is our setup default edge shaders. Now everything, as you can see, is solid. Everything has the same values, and that's because over here I've got my one layer, and everything is, I just added everything underneath it. Now I can, all of these inherit the setups that I have in my layer. So if I were to say change the color of the line, let's just make that a red outline instead, then all of those will get a red outline. If I change the size of the line, then all of them are going to get that different lines, that lighter line style. This also will allow me quickly, with it being a different color, just so you can see this, under VPR, we're automatically creating AOVs for these things. So my layer here, if I scroll down here and find layer edge, and I decide to just show what that looks like in the AOV, there is the AOV. Now, that's per layer. So this means if I have multiple layers, my multiple controls or whatever, that means each one of these will have its own AOV. So I can save these out, just as I wish. Now I want to show you this, because this is what makes this fun. You can see that these wings were intended to be made of glass, or made where they're clear. So I know from past experience, I'm just going to quickly jump out of here just to prove it, that if I were to select those wings are actually cube 030 body 0. Well, that's cube 030 body 0. That's right here. So I'm going to come back to VPR. And what I want to do is I'm going to have that selected. If I choose the eyeball beside that, that means I'm unique. Pay attention to me, special. And as you can quickly see, you see, now they're outlined in black, whereas everything else is outlined in red. So that means he's got that right there. His color is black. If I change this to, oh, let's go green, why not? So now they are going to have a green outline. If I come here under render mode and I say, let's make those transparent, now you're going to see that I can see through my object to see my other lines. You'll also notice too that the green is being overwritten. That's my priority right here. If I make these a higher priority, then I can change where they're layered. Now, I already see people asking about Octane. Why? If I'm wanting to do this as a render, I'm wanting to do this as a line, I don't need a GPU to do this. This is very, very fast, very, very quick, and it works just fine on the CPU. There's no reason at all for this to run in Octane. So just wanted to put that out there.
The other thing is obviously the aspect ratio and stuff will match anyway. So if you were mixing a bit of an Octane background with some cell shading created in Lightwave, you can output this as all the layers and then just composite it with the other backdrop if you wanted to. So there is no advantage, and it is super fast. I mean, you're absolutely right.
One of the things too that I'm just kind of I'm going to set up something really fast here because I want to show this. So if I come in, I'm going to go to wireframe, and I'll take a guide here from the Andy Bishop School of Demo, and we're just going to make a sphere. I'll pull this up here. So like this, put this back on the VPR. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to add another layer. And in this layer, I'm going to add that sphere. Now, this is where we really start getting kind of creative. So if I make this transparent, you're going to see that I can see my lines through my sphere. So we then have, we have unparalleled kind of control here. If I were to say add the, let's go to those wings again. So I can actually change this so that when I see through, I can actually, let's see if I'm remembering how to do this right. I've gone off my script here. So let's see. We're going to go transparent. Let's see, I want to make this unique so that it can be transparent. And what I want to do is under ray tracing, currently the wings are green, my ball is black. So if I say overwrite, am I remembering this right? So there's the overwrite there. So I'm only seeing my wings, you see, through the ball. So this, I'm really quickly just kind of blurting this through. This is what allows you to do those animate tricks where like I can see through the hair to see the eyes underneath, or if I've got glasses and I want to see the eye lines underneath it. Also, bear in mind that this is so totally different than the lines that we've used in the past in the object properties. I'm not limited to objects. I can actually use surfaces. I can bring in my surfaces into this thing. So if I have a single object, but I have multiple surfaces, I can actually do my aligning around my surfaces. And so this is, we're going to be, we're so totally going to have to come out with enough tutorials and things. I know that this is going to be one of those things that people are going to get a hold of it, and they're going to push the limit of what you can do with it, because you initially see it and think toon shader, this is for anime, this is for doing this type of a thing, but this is also, if you think about being able to do outlines, being able to do motion graphics, highlighting some motion graphics, because you have the AOVs and you can bring these out on their own, you can certainly use this as a creative input. Yes, there is a node editor as well. So I have control over line thicknesses. So real quick, I can do that. I can show this. Let me come back here to the wings here, and let me pop open the node editor. This right here is the layers, so scale alpha. If I bring up turbulence, say, and I plug this, plug like maybe the alpha into the scale. So currently the lines are a uniform thickness. But if I change this to where, let's do this, let's make this smaller. Give it a second. Is this going to be enough to see? Let me increase my contrast. I might have to go a little. I'm trying to remember what my scale of my wasp is. I think
You can see it. It's just very fine. Can you see the thickness and thinness along the lines of the wings, on the interior of the wings? You can see the scale is now varying, right? So it doesn't look like just a uniform straight line.
It's actually one of those too that what we can do is, let me pull up. Let me go to the layer 1 AOV. Yeah, now we're starting to see it. So you can see here that the thin and thick. So you can, it's not just limited. So
it means you can get those sort of almost sketched looks when you're putting the lines on. It will just make it look so much more artistically pleasing. Just for another quick chip in, I've used this already on an engineering animation for doing outlines of an engine. So I did it per object as opposed to surface, and I outlined engines for a Cummins animation using this system. It was fantastic. So it isn't just about anime. It really is about all kinds of things you might want to do.
So if I just come down here and turn off everything here, so not item, not surface, not primitive, not shading, just use outline. And let's make this 5. Let's go really horsey. So there you can see it's just on the outline. So
oh dear.
I mean, it's an illustration. It's a complete illustration. So this is, yeah. Someone says sticker, but yeah, so it's. I can so totally see this as being a highlight for a thing if you're doing an animation and you want to, you need to call out a part on an engine, or you need to on a room of an architectural visual. You want to call out something. You can absolutely. Can you stack that? Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, if I were to take this and let's get rid of this layer. So let's delete that, add another layer. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's do this. Let's scene editor. And let's grab all these objects again. Add selected from layout. And I'm just going to do this. Haha, ready for this? Copy settings and paste settings. So now I've got both the same. So if I were to take this red and make it black, but make it smaller in size, so now I've got a thin black line inside of my red thick line.
That is lovely.
Also, I will point out that the settings here, I don't know if you saw it real quick, but I can save to presets. So any of these things that I come up with, if I like the way a particular things look, I can easily drop this to a preset and then recall it later.
And that might be something we can hopefully add, maybe some presets for that at some point. I think the other thing which was amazing about this, I think we obviously, I say we, but we ran out of time. You know, you end up adding feature. It went way beyond the original brief. It then went to a point where we thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we added those things? And then we got to get it out, right? So we know we're going to be able to do a lot more with it. We know we're going to be able to take it significantly further over the next year, maybe year and a half. And, you know, it's already better than the other packages out there that you have to pay extra money to get, right? So, you know, this is built into Lightwave. It's usable for engineering, obviously anime, for various different types of cartoon animation, useful for you know, infographics, architecture, if you want to highlight something. And of course, it all works and it renders, and you can, you know, you've got total control, surfaces, objects, you know, just extraordinary addition to Lightwave, I think.
You know what, Andy? I think I want to show something. Something. Bear with me. Bear with me. I just want to do a quick little setup here. I'm going to scrub this over. I'm going to pull this down. As we were talking about bugs and things, there's one bug.
Oh God, yes. Oh,
there's one
God.
bug.
Yeah.
Now, don't give it away. Don't just keep drinking. Matter of fact, cheers. All right. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make a box. I'm going to change layers. Matter of fact, let me go back to the layer panel. And I'm going to make a ball. Let me know if I do these wrong, Andy, because I know that you're the...
So far, my friend, well done.
So far I'm doing good. So far I'm doing good. All right. So disk. And let's see, I already did a box, right? So let me do a... let me do a cone. Cone's easy. We'll do a cone. And I'm going to save this. Save object as. And let's just call this layers. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do this, send object to layout. All right, so I'm going to choose layer 1, and then layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. Come in here like frame 50, move that over there, move this over here, move this over here. This is my animation skill, so you know I want you to pay attention here because this is some heady stuff. So we're gonna move this over here, move this over here. Move this.
Look at that! It's outstanding. Outstanding.
Check it.
Oh, that is it, man. That's...
Okay. So what I'm now going to do, I'll come over here to.
You got applause for that, by the way. I'm just saying, outstanding.
So I'm going to take this layer here. I'm going to delete it. Come back over here to layout. It's gone, but oh, what am I left with? I'm left with a null that's actually called proxy. Layer 2. I come back over here to Modeler, and let's replace him with a torus. Come back over here to layout. Now I've got a torus. Now, I do want to say one thing. I know that a lot of, save all objects from layout. Save all objects. Come back. Go back to layout. Go back to modeler. Oh, I stopped sharing. I hit the wrong button. Wait a second. Hang on. It's coming.
Oh,
No! Okay.
there we go. Okay.
I want to point out something, guys. I want to point out something. You've heard of the term spaghetti code. This was some spaghetti code that had a few squirrels running around in it. And I want to say too that I don't consider it 100% fixed yet. There's still some ways that we can trip up the hub. There's still some ways and some things that we want the hub to do. However, I do feel that for the most part, those people who had problems with zombie layers or things coming back that they weren't expecting or whatnot, for the most part, I really feel like we got it. Granted, am I expecting it to be 100%? I don't think so. But just know that we're working on it, we're aware of it, and as we move forward, we're going to keep trying to fix this and make it even better. Okay, guys? But I do feel comfortable enough to demo it. I also feel comfortable enough to say, I really think that we're on the right path here. And hopefully, I'll get you measurements for the monument, to be erected in my honor. Just letting you know. So anyway,
Just a quick interjection, only because we're talking about bugs. We obviously also fixed the Light Studio, the HDR Light Studio bug,
yeah.
which obviously very important to us because we want Light Studio HDRs coming in for Ripper. So that was fixed and is in obviously 2025. And again, to mention that if you're going to be using Ripper for creating your animatics and those sort of things, you're going to want to be using HDR backdrops for that. HDR Light Studio is fantastic. So again, fully working. All the bugs for that are gone. So
I want to show you a little tool here. This came about, and this is one of those things that I want to point this. I love saying that. I want to point this out, and I keep wanting to do this. I want to point this out, and now I want to point that out over here. I want to point that out too. Anyway, we're users. Andy's a user. I'm a user. Sean's a user. We use Lightwave, and I want to call attention to this because I know that I do this all the time, and I wanted a tool, and so we got a tool added. So you're coming along here, and you're wanting to make a sub D cylinder, right? So you hit Tab. And brand new install here, so it's probably going to think about it for a second. This is also on a separate hard drive, and it should come back here and yell at me for, hey, I just hit Tab and I don't have proper. Potentially, we'll see. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing and see what I can sort here real quick, guys.
there's another bug we just found. 261.
The thing about it is
That's,
that I'll say this on my system. Mine's an older system. That I hit things like this from time to time. Simply because.
While you're,
yeah.
I was going to just update people on the Ripper thing. Probably fairly important to mention. So Ripper is designed for the latest hardware, latest computers, the latest everything, right? It will work with backward compatibility to some degree, but obviously, if you've got an old motherboard where your connections between the motherboard and the graphics card are slow, it isn't going to work as well. And there is only a finite amount we can take that back. We said when we got Lightwave that we'll try to keep some compatibility, but there is going to come a point where we have to say, actually, it won't be compatible back beyond that. So Ripper is a case in point where it does need, the best GPU capability without a shadow of a doubt. I've got it. I demoed it just a few minutes ago. That was on a 3080. It's much better on higher graphic cards than that, and preferably ones with a lot more memory. The more memory you have, the higher the resolution, and the more you can save and the faster you can save. So just bear that in mind. If any of you have machines that are more than, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, you might have a few problems with motherboard compatibility with Ripper. Everything else is good, by the way, in Lightwave 25, but things like Ripper are going to start pushing the boundaries, and you are therefore going to need, a decent graphic card or a modern graphic card, and also a relatively modern motherboard. So I just thought I'd mention that because it's fairly important to get an understanding of where we're going to be going in the future as well. We aren't going to be always looking to have full backward compatibility. You just can't. If we're to make Lightwave super fast and able to handle huge data sets, we've got to change and get rid of some of that legacy code. So I'm just mentioning that. Hey, Juice, you good? You back?
I'm back. So back where I was here, and we hit tab, and it says what? Only 3 or 4 vertices can have subpatches, right? That's because of these big ends, these guys. So what do we normally, or what we have how have we handled this in the past? We do a bevel, right? So we can pull in a little bit here, and then we might run make pole, right? So we'd make pole, and then we'd come in here and we'd say, let's grab these two and merge, these two and merge, these two and merge. Anyone done this before? Or am I the only one that's done this and had carpal tunnel pain, right? After doing all this, just so that I could have a good grief. Every day, yeah. Okay, thank goodness, right? So we hit tab and we're into it like this. Well, I want to point out something. Everyone's going to be doing that at the end of the day, I'm telling you. All right. So here's the tool that I wanted. I'm going to select a point. I can select multiple points in the edge, however I want to do it, and then do this super patcher. And currently, let's see, because of whatever, I'm going to flip my normals. So here I can play with some insets, offsets. And if I don't like the way I'm lining up, I can rotate this around. And there we go. So there we go. How much nicer is that, guys? Is that what we all wanted, right? We can now expand this. Say, let's do a move numerically. Let's do a radial fall off from here. Let's just have some fun with it, right? So anyway, yes, super patcher. It also works. It works on any shape. The only rule, if there's any rule, got to have a rule. It has to be even number of points. I mean, you would kind of expect that. should be divisible by 2. You know, if your shape doesn't, and it says, hey, then just add a point. You're good to go. Just need even number of points. But this thing has already saved my sanity. Oh my gosh, I just feel so much nicer having that kind of a flow rather than my.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just pointing out. I'm just saying, we're users. You know, when I've often looked at it, it's like if I want a tool, more than likely Andy does too, and probably you guys as well. You know, so we're gonna add those. Could we ever get sub-D base objects as an object? Like you're talking about, like a creation of a sub-D object. I've actually had that as a thought. You know, I've actually had that as a thought. There was a. We'll have to see how that one plays out. We'll have to see how that one plays out, because I've actually, you know, wanted to start from, you know, those type of primitives as well, rather than just creating some and saving them and then, you know, start off from like that. We have hit the hour point there, Andy.
Okay, can I just give a quick thank you to a couple of people? Would you mind? Just very quickly. Obviously, Juice. Big thank you to you, because you kind of have got this out. And just so if no one fully understands this, you know, Juice, you know, he hasn't had a holiday throughout the whole time since we set this up, and so we started working on this. He's been helping run the team, took over the team and runs that now completely. He you know, make sure we get all the builds out, the beta tester builds out, make sure all the programming is happening on time, etc. We spend a lot of time just chatting and talking and about you know, what features we'd like, you know, this build or the next one we're working on, and we do a massive amount of planning together. I just want to, you know, publicly say a huge thank you to Juice, because it's been, you know, so much fun this last 2 years, but working with him, and he is outstanding. So that was that. Must also thank AJ, Jojo, Jessica, John, Dave, Sean, and Steve for the outstanding programming this year. The amount of work that went in. I mean, even just, you know, the Python is one of those things where I remember right at the beginning, everybody was saying they wanted Python 3, and we obviously wanted to get it as early as we could, but there were some technical issues that made it very difficult. When the guys started putting that in this year, it is a difficult thing to do, but they've done it, and it's switchable. You know, it's in the interface. You just go down to a menu, you choose at the start of Lightwave whether you want to run Python 3, done. And it works, and that's both Mac and PC, obviously. Remember, obviously, Ripper is not Mac, so Ripper is only for the PC, but everything else I mentioned is on the Mac and the PC version. With regards back to the coding guys, you know, those guys, I cannot tell you the ideas, the effort, the thought process, thinking about, you know, how we're going to go forward, what we have to get done, tidying up the code so that we can move from point A to point B. It's a massive undertaking, and catching the bugs from that alone, you know, obviously the beta testers do a fantastic job as well, catching those and refining some of the features. But it is also a case of our coders, you know, literally, you know, they will be checking for the bugs, they'll be trying things out, they'll be testing each other's code, they're helping each other. There's such a team spirit amongst those guys, with people helping each other out with bits of code, using AI to speed up the coding process. Huge differences from when we first started. You know, the team is just off the chart good, and getting better and better, and enabling us to do more and more, which I think you'll see. This is the biggest of the 3 updates we've done so far. It makes Lightwave, if you take all the hundreds and hundreds of features that we've all forgotten about that are in Lightwave as standard, we've had quite a few of those this year where people have said, "Oh, I'd like Lightwave to do this," and then one of us says, "No, no, no, you can already do it. Bang, here's the feature." And there's so much in Lightwave. Then you take all the new features we've added, and then you take the new feature set we've added. Your toon alone is outstanding. Its name, in a way, belies the real capability of that plugin. It is more than just a toon shader and anime shader. It is outstanding for infographics work, as I've said, architecture, engineering. It's so good across the board. I really hope all of you try it out and use it and have fun with it. It is a bit of a learning curve, but once you've got it, it's a lot of fun to use. And I think Juice gave a really good demonstration of that just now. And anyway, I just want to say, obviously, also thank you to all of you. We've had so many good ideas, so much encouragement from everybody. The 2 years have absolutely flown by, and I think it was this time 2 years ago we were just in the process of buying it. And when you think in that time we've bought the code, given a quick look over the code, made the decision to buy it, for a fair amount of money, and then we've had to learn the code, work out where the problems are, still get new features out, and we've done a phenomenal amount of bug fixes this time round, plus the other time rounds. But this one is by far the best yet. Obviously, like last time when we did 24, there's bound to be some things we've missed and some things we've broken when we did the final build. It always happens. So just be warned, there will be a 25.1, I would imagine, within a couple of weeks, and then a 25.2. So, but have fun with it. We've really enjoyed building it. And Juice, I mean, anything else you want to add, Bob?
One of the it's one of those things that, I'm seeing the discussions on the Mac, and I want to tell you, I want to really, I want you guys to understand that the majority of us do use PCs. It's one of those, why do we use PCs? Well, it's what I grew up with. Honestly, I came from the Commodore 64. I came through the DEC Alpha, into the PCs, and that's where I stopped. That's where I landed. Now, that's not to say that I'm not sitting right here in front of a brand new Mac M4 that I'll be, working toward. Trying to get some things too. I will also point out and say that I think in no less than a month, I think I have been forwarded the VFX statistics papers things no less than 40 times. So I know that Linux is a hot button. I know that Metal, Vulkan, all of this stuff, but we're still we're 3 years in, so to say that we're going to ignore the Mac is unfair. To say that we're going to do as much as we can to support all the different platforms is where we want to be. We want to, I've described it as we want to be the kid on the playground that everyone wants to play with. We don't want to be the moody one that sits off in the corner and makes, the weird sounds and noises, and and no one even wants to go near that kid. So, really, it's just one of those things that we hear you guys, we hear you Mac guys. I know Andy has Macs. I know that a number of our beta testers have Macs. And I know the challenges of dealing with the Macs. There's all the buzzwords, all the different things, Metal, Vulkan, Material X, and heck, the new ones that haven't even, made a blip on the radar yet. You know, material Y, material Z, Vulcan, Cerberus, uh, who knows what the hell they're called.
Actually,
But
just a quick chip in. I mean, I use the Mac one as well as the PC, and obviously the main reason for using the PC one is because of the NVIDIA cards for me are so fast for the engineering. They can handle massive data sets, and it makes it practical to have to use PCs for rendering those things and outputting those things, and with Octane and so on. And Octane is on the Mac, but obviously there's no GPU, big GPU to get it up to that same kind of speed as an NVIDIA card. However, the Mac is fast. I mean, Dave, does a lot of his coding. Well, it's all Mac based, and the Mac version is basically fast. It's really good, and it's obviously optimized for the M series of processors. So we do put a lot of effort into the Mac. It's just there are certain things we cannot do, and I mean, I think last time we had Flow. I think was the one that wouldn't go onto the Mac. We are looking at a couple of solutions for that, which we're working on. But actually, the next stage for us as we go forward, a lot of the things we're about to do and about to change will be much easier to make cross compatibility of some of those things. And so we very, very much have that in the roadmap, and obviously Linux as well. So I just wanted to chip that in. I don't think the Mac one is really behind, bar a couple of features that we just can't physically do on the Mac. The rest of the stuff, it operates brilliantly fast. It's really quick. Toon's on there. And Toon is outstanding, and is going to get even better as we go forward with other things we got planned for it. So anyway, yeah, it's an amazing build. I think it's good.
By the same token here, I'm. It's one of those bits that I know that after we get past showing the demos and things, we always kind of break down into this type of a question and answer thing. I do want to point out though that GLTF, we wanted to have GLTF in the release of 25. We just ran into some issues and some basic things. It will be coming. GLTF will be coming, not only import, but as well as export and animation support. And it will be in the 25 release, just not immediately. We want it to be right when we release it. But what I do want to...
No, it's just a very valid point. I think that there was a few things. I mean, part of the reason for the delay was there was a few things we just needed to fix. But likewise, I think last time on 24, we put some things in last minute that then weren't as stable as we would have liked. And ironically, the builds before went on the release one. We made a few changes in retrospect, shouldn't have done it, but you end up that bites you in the bum. I think the thing with the GLTF is it's super close, and we will get that done. It's going to be fantastic, and it will be soon. So yeah.
But what I do want to say is that I do believe, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll do the Andy this time, and I'm going to say that we have planned in the coming time. I'm not going to say in the coming weeks. I'm not going to say in the coming days. I'm not going to say in the coming months. It's not going to be a year, but it's going to be comparatively soon that we want to have one of these type of meeting things, one of these little town hall things, that it's going to be just question and answer, and just getting thoughts and opinions. Might even do some polling. Who knows? Because we do have some things that we want to start work on, but we need to start work on them with a bit of idea toward triage. What's more important to get done than what we need to do? So there will be that educational. Yes, as a matter of fact, I want to go ahead. I'll take this opportunity since that just came out here. I now have a fully functional trial version. Yes, the trial version is coming back to 2025. I just need to get with our web guys to make sure that I can, that we can run it properly from the back end. So we will have a trial version. The educational, we now have this sorted out. So we will be reaching out to a bunch of educational institutions to get them on board with what we're currently doing for the educational as well. This will also, be as, yes, newest version of Octane. It's already in the pipe. We just need to work on getting a couple of things. The Mac actually threw us a hiccup with their recent OS that broke something. And we don't know whether or not that's in Otoy's code or our code, but we need to find that out. And that's actually one of my highest priorities to, once I get done with this thing here that we're working on, talking right now. Forum is in place. I just need to have it turned on by the web team. So that will be, coming also in very short order. CA, what's a CA key, Vincent? To me, when I see CA, I think California, and I don't have a key for California. Character animation, key handling. Okay, we've got some ideas on this. Again, can't really say much about it immediately, but we've got some designs, we've got some plans, and we've got some things that are potentially, coming. So, who knows? Let's see, back a year or so ago, Andy mentioned Lightwave and some large-scale studio productions. He couldn't talk about details then, and now, you know what? The lawyers are still yelling back and forth about that and what we can talk about and what we can't talk about. So,
yeah, I think we've got some articles appearing over the next few weeks that actually mention the shows, and it's just we can't get shots. So that's been the biggest problem. We can talk about what it's used on. Well, in the interviews, the actual people making the shows are talking about the shows, but it's being used extensively on a lot of the latest sci-fi shows and being used in
shows too.
a lot of films as well. Sorry?
And some high-profile shows too. Some shows that are like, stuff that I watch. I mean,
well, sometimes you get the fallout of these things.
Yes,
and
I totally understand.
The fallout from all kinds of things happen, and
with Lightwave,
and sometimes
some of that fallout. I mean,
Yeah, and you're also a bit of a maverick.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely going to be if you're going to mention Lightwave's involvement.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to go Star Trekking, and obviously
a black helicopter. 1 second. Nope. Helicopter flew over. It's okay.
Okay, thank God. That's good. That's good. I mean, we're lucky there's no Star Wars at the moment, although there is economic wars. Oh, Trump, God, I love him. And then you've got what else can I?
I will make mention, Kevin. Yes, I've been talking with Victor, getting a couple of things happening with him. So it's just one of many discussions. I'm currently in discussion with 3D Coat to support Lightwave 3 version of objects. So it's actually been one of the good things too that people, some of these companies that I actually tried to talk with 10 years ago when it was new tech, they're actually coming to me now. So no, the object version hasn't changed, Koji. It's just they never supported it. The object version changed around 2018. So we're trying to get them to catch up on that. Third-party render engines. We've got plans on how we're going to handle not only our render engines, but also third-party render engines. But again, that's a discussion for a future time. I mean, we could sit, And of course, you guys know that Syntheyes was bought by who was that? Shoot. So Syntheyes is not Syntheyes anymore. They got bought. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, Boris. Boris was who bought it.
Can I just share screen? I was going to show something. I'll only share it for a few seconds. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, it looks like an eclipse.
No, it's okay. So I just want to show our new action toys that we're releasing.
Oh.
So we've got Juice. We've got
I still want to know
Tony.
where that pink bag came from.
Yeah, I don't know. That just made me laugh. They gave you pink bag and a pink headphone, but they did give you a shotgun and a snake, which I kind of like. I got a pre and post version. That was my pre version, the before when we bought Lightwave, and this is me now. Thanks very much for that. And also I thought I'd let you see Giles as well. There we go. That's Giles. And so yep, that's oh, actually I might as well show Joe as well. Should we do that? There's Joe. That doesn't really look like Joe, but she does have a dog. And so they're our new action toys that we're going to be releasing shortly. Yeah, so yeah, so
you know, we could just keep talking for hours, but hope you guys, enjoy 25.
Let's give it a summary and finish. What do you think?
Do a full summary finish, but I will want to point out real quickly that currently PC 25 is in your account. Mac 25 will be coming in the next 2, maybe 3 days. Just have a couple of issues I want to sort out that I don't want to release to you guys because it would be immediately, thrown back at me. And I just want to make sure that those are ironed out before the Mac gets released. Any Octane version updates we'll see about, and I'm talking about Octane update not only for the current internal, the one that comes, the free one basically, and of course the studio one as well. Just we need to touch base because I know there's an issue with the Mac, and I want to see that again is that an us issue or an Otoy issue. Just need to pass up on that.
Good.
Anyone who bought a pre-release of 25, it should be in their account. If you bought a pre-release 25 and it's not, shoot me an email on Wednesday, 3 weeks from now. Because I don't want to deal with it tomorrow. But seriously,
not tomorrow.
If you don't see a 25, make sure you did indeed purchase the pre-release. Make sure you can prove that. Shoot me an email.
And remember, sorry, just on the pre-release. Remember, we normally have ended the pre-release before we do the release, right? It's actually continuing on to Monday morning, I think, UK time. So you've got a couple of days to get the chance of getting the pre-release, pricing. So basically, it's the pre-order pricing and the bundle deals are all available to Monday morning UK time. So I do a summary, Juice. You good, or do you want to add anything? Okay, so just remember HDR Light Studio, that fix is done, so it works with that. So let's just go over the features of 2025. Take a breath. Ripper, Step It, Pick It, Hand It, Construct, Super Patcher, Super Normals, Toon, Displacement Brush, Python 2 and 3, Reconstruction Filter, new ProGeo nodes, also ProGeo updates to how the nodes work, which is really good. We've also got presets for ProGeo, 14 of them by Mark Warner. He's done a fantastic job. Loads of more surfaces, 100 more there added. Loads of VDB ones coming. We'll have them up in the next week, hopefully. Frame rate view. Actually, I didn't show the frame rate view, but it's basically on the left-hand side at the bottom. You'll see the frame rate now up as well. BP kit everybody was saying to us they wanted to have those. So we've got DP kit, DP filter, render man surfaces, and verdure are all now included with Lightwave as standard. More's coming on that front, and all of those have been looked at, and where possible we've updated the library so they're better, faster, quicker. So verdure, whilst it's fairly basic for doing trees and those sort of things, it has actually been updated and can handle more geometry now than it ever could before. So it actually is quite a bit. 260 bug fixes, 180 of them literally created by no, I'm not, that's not your bug, that's the, anyway, we created loads of those as well and fixed them, but we've done stacks of bug fixing. So that's pretty much it. And remember, so many of those are major. I mean, the step it, pick it, hand it, automate character animation are amazing. The Ripper, outstanding pre-visualization and animatic tool, and just out off the chart good. Obviously the construct is good. That was the thing that makes the steps and those sort of things. It's fantastic. Super patches, super normals, toon, which you saw, off the chart good, and that's, you know, an outstanding piece of code. And obviously the reconstruction filter upgrade is a major update to the render engine. That major update to the render engine also makes the rendering significantly faster. You're using less anti-aliasing, and it just works quicker anyway. So have a look into that. I think Ben has done a fantastic job with Matt on the manuals. I mean, actually an outstanding job on the manuals. And I think Ben's put something in there about the reconstruction filter on the basics of how it works. So that will sort of kickstart you and get you going. Would recommend looking at the manual, and he's still working, he's still adding things to it, but he's done a fantastic job. Matt also did a fantastic amount of work on that. So I again can't thank Ben enough, and all of the coders, Juice, the whole team, absolutely an outstanding effort. It is certainly the most powerful Lightwave ever produced, and it's certainly, we are super proud of this one, and we hope you love it as much as we've loved making it. I think that's, anything else, Juice?
Yep, I just want to make sure that everyone fully realizes this is indeed, and actually for certain, the last version of Lightwave that will ever be produced. So there will be no patches, there will be no fixes, there will be no future versions. Get it while you get it now, and happy days. No.
Bye. No, that's not true.
Seriously, we're always working, we're always looking at things, we're always trying to get things going. And you know, it just always kills me because I will get 100 emails tomorrow saying you didn't fix my bug. And it's like, well, you know what? Give us time.
Patch one. Yeah.
Current domain name is without the X, so it's lightwave3d.com, not lightwave3dx.com. It's lightwave3d.com. We actually lost the X about a year ago, so
yeah. If any do have problems, just
are out. As a matter of fact, if when you get your Lightwave and install it, hit F1, it'll pull them up.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that last bit? Yeah, cool. I think we're good. Yeah.
Cool. I think we'll wrap it up, Andy and Juice. We'll get off recording. Thank you guys, amazing job. And like I said, we'll be putting the YouTube video up of this, and the clearer recordings that Andy and Juice have done of their demos will be on that recording, not what you've seen on Teams, because obviously Teams is always a little bit jittery with showing video. So if you want to see the clearer content, it's on the YouTube channel surely.
Just give me time to edit it together. Don't expect it right away suddenly.
Yeah. Again, guys, just to also, I know none of you ever see Giles and Joe front facing, but those two, the amount of support they give us and the amount of care in handling the website and all the backup stuff, the setting up of the payment systems, all those things all now work really well. Again, a big thank you to those two. They've done an outstanding job, and I just must say that as well. Anyway, that's it. Guys, have a really good weekend. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a lot of fun playing with it. It kind of, yeah, it's a big moment for us. You know, when we started 2 years ago, this was kind of the first stage, or the first bit we planned to was now. And we've achieved everything we set out to do on the first part of the plan, and you know, we start phase 2 next. But you know, just a fantastic, I'm really pleased with this one. And I think Toon is over and above, by the way. I mean, Toon was something that we had to do for the anime market, and it just turned out to be so much more. But hope you love it and enjoy it. Remember, step it and all those things. Remember that we've been showing those things off for months, but they are brand new and they are amazing. So have fun with Step It. Get into Rig It. You know, start learning how to do basic rigs, and then you Step It with that. It's just going to save you so much time, and you'll have so much fun with it. That's it.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, guys. Good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.